Now to that new blow to our vaccine rollout, a leading immunisation expert saying confidence in the AstraZeneca jab has taken a huge hit among older Australians.
That new speed hump amid reports of blood clots among those who have received the jab. Professor Margie Danchin tracks the COVID vaccine uptake for the federal government, and she joins us now live from Melbourne. Margie, good morning to you. Thank you for your time this morning. Can you describe to us the situation GPs are facing right now? Because confidence has really taken a hit.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Carl. We have seen that in the last 3 weeks in a lot of our research, particularly qualitative research, so having conversations with people over the age of 70, but also people with at-risk medical conditions. So interviews, focus groups, we're actually listening to what people are telling us. And what they're saying is not only about the association with the severe clotting syndrome, but they're also concerned about those common side effects and how severe they're going to be. And they need reassurance about those as well. But also, in terms of the severe clotting syndrome, I think a lot of people don't actually really understand what it is.
Yeah, I think you've touched on something there which is really critical in this. And look, because we know up until this point that young women have been very hesitant, but to hear that sort of that dialogue shift and the fact that we've got older Australians, those over 70, who you would say, if there was an outbreak, would be most at risk, that is a big concern.
It is. We know that people over the age of 70 are particularly at high risk. And so I think we need to try and help them to understand what this severe clotting syndrome is and the fact that it's very different from the generalised clotting disorders that people may experience, of which we know up to 50 people a day in Australia might experience. You know, things from their oral contraceptive pill or smoking or other medications. So this severe clotting syndrome is actually idiosyncratic, and what that means is we don't know who's going to get it, and the only risk factor that we know for sure is that it occurs in younger people, so people under the age of 50. So I think, you know, it's an autoimmune condition. It's different to the generalised clotting syndrome, and so I think we need to try and help explain that better to older people and really try and build their confidence up.
You know, this is the drama for you. Most even young people, and more of the elder people that I talk to are now saying to me they're just going to wait. They're going to wait and see what happens with the AstraZeneca. They're going to wait for the Pfizer. They'd prefer to have the Pfizer. I mean, there's conversations going on in every household around the country right now.
That's right. We're hearing that very clearly from people, that they say that they can wait 6 to 12 months. You know, they don't want to go forward and have the vaccine at the moment. And I think what I would say is, you know, we are very lucky at the moment. There isn't community transmission of COVID at the moment. But that situation can change quickly. We've seen at least 12 breaches in quarantine over the last 6 months. We know what's happening in the region, and it can change. But I think it's important that we try and frame the benefits of vaccination more broadly for people, separate to just the prevention of severe disease. So what I mean by that is people being able to move around more freely, freedom from lockdowns, school closures, financial security, even being able to travel again to see family overseas. There are lots of benefits to vaccination apart from just preventing, you know, illness or going to hospital.
And whose responsibility is that to get that message out there?
I really think at the moment what's happening is we're working closely with the Commonwealth to develop resources to support GPs and you know, our primary care providers, immunisation nurses on the ground who are having these conversations. These conversations are hard, and we need to be able to help people to understand what their benefit is. So, you know, really that's what we're doing now, is we're really working with the government to try and support confidence, build confidence. And I think people will accept this vaccine. You know, I strongly recommend that people have the COVID vaccine, and especially older Australians, people over the age of 65 to 70, they should come forward now and have the vaccine.
So how it's going to work out is, well, I guess there's a little bit of guesswork in it at the moment, but 10% have been vaccinated so far of the Australian population. Hopefully you're going to get that to something in the order of 75%. I guess that's best case scenario. What happens if the take-up doesn't get anywhere near that?
Well, of course, that is our challenge. So, you know, we only have coverage around sort of 10% at the moment. It is higher in people over the age of 65. It's around 16%, but we've got a long way to go. And so, as I said before, it's really now about us building confidence, supporting people having these conversations, and really reassuring people that the risk of this clotting syndrome is extremely rare. You know, in older Australians over the age of 65, we're talking about a risk of about 0.2 per 100,000. It's very, very low. Unfortunately, at the moment, you know, we just hear about this syndrome in the media all the time. There have only been 6 cases so far recorded in Australia and only 1 case over the age of 50. So we need to try and put this risk in context and balance it against those benefits, as I said. I think at the moment people are just feeling a bit frightened.
Yeah, and 2 being currently investigated too. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.